Every Modern Family has had its fair share of tragedy, and that includes the cast of the hit sitcom Modern Family. But what some of them had to endure might make you view the show in a different light. Ed O'Neill played grouchy patriarch Jay Pritchett on Modern Family, but when he was just 12 years old, he had to deal with the tragic loss of his own family's patriarch. In 2014, O'Neill revealed to Irish America that his paternal grandpa Joseph, a shy night watchman who had depression, decided to end his own life on O'Neill's 12th birthday. Being so young, O'Neill wasn't told the true nature of his grandfather's death. In fact, he only learned the truth during a father-son drink in his 20s. He also learned that the cause had been a secret to most of the family at the time. He explained, "If you were Catholic, you weren't able to be buried in a Catholic church, so they kept it quiet." Sofía Vergara, who played glamorous stepmother Gloria Delgado Pritchett on Modern Family, has had more than her fair share of tragedy over the course of her life. In 1996, Vergara's older brother Rafael was killed during a kidnapping attempt by a Colombian cartel. She later told Variety, "It destroyed my family. It destroyed my mom. It changed our lives completely. We didn't know what was happening, why he had been killed." Following the horrific loss, Vergara invited her sister, mom, and younger brother to move from Colombia to Miami, where she'd established a new life with her son Manolo. Vergara said, "It was hard because I had to take responsibility for my whole family." In 2024, she gave an Emmy and Golden Globe-nominated performance in the Netflix miniseries Griselda, playing the titular drug lord. For the role, Vergara said she received advice from acting coach Nancy Banks to use her own background as fuel, saying, "Nancy said, if you want to cry, you just have to think of something. And I did have a lot of horrible things to think about." Another horrible thing, just a few years after her brother's death, Vergara was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Thankfully, the actor made a full recovery after having her thyroid removed. In 2021, she appeared in a Stand Up to Cancer telecast where she expressed her gratitude for those who helped her through such a difficult time, saying, "I was fortunate to have caught it early and to have the support of my doctors and most importantly, my family. I learned a lot during that time, not just about thyroid cancer, but I also learned that in times of crisis, we're better together, and if we're going to end cancer, it's going to require a team effort."
It's such a horrible sickness that, we all should help anyways, even if you've never had it.
She later posted a photo on Instagram of the first day she was able to return to acting lessons after the cancer surgery. She wrote, "Seeing the scar on my throat reminds me of how blessed I felt that day, and every day since." Ty Burrell played Modern Family's dorky dad Phil Dunphy. Tragically, though, Burrell's own father, Gary, died from cancer in 1989, an event that inspired Burrell to live life to the fullest. He told The Guardian that the loss of his father prompted him to take stock of his life, saying, "I wasn't a very mature young man, and I was pretty lost in my early 20s. A month after my dad passed away, I finally worked up the nerve to go into a theater class." Burrell also revealed that he owes much of his comic timing to his father, who encouraged Burrell and his brother to joke around at the dining table. Having spent years working within the foster care system as a family therapist, Gary also inspired Burrell to align himself with the charity Kids in the Spotlight. Burrell told Entertainment Weekly, "I just feel like my dad would be very touched. I wanted in some way to try to carry on his work." Julie Bowen played neurotic mother Claire Dunphy on Modern Family, but her entire career was almost derailed back in the 90s when she was diagnosed with a cardiovascular condition known as bradycardia, which causes an abnormally slow heartbeat. Bowen was only in her 20s at the time, but luckily, the wonders of modern science meant that doctors were able to keep the condition at bay with the help of a pacemaker. Shortly after being fitted with the device, Bowen was launched to fame as Adam Sandler's love interest in Happy Gilmore, and the rest is history. Bowen told WebMD that though she doesn't hear or feel the pacemaker, she's grateful to be living during a time when the technology exists to treat her condition. She said, "It serves as a monitor for me." In 2017, Eric Stonestreet's father, Vince, was diagnosed with cancer. Sadly, 4 years later, on his 80th birthday, Vince passed away from the disease. And just like his co-star Ty Burrell, Stonestreet and his family were determined to honor his dad in an altruistic manner. He told People magazine, "We said, well, Dad loved kids and loved helping kids, and nothing broke his heart more than sick kids, so let's focus on that." Stonestreet, who played flamboyant teacher and football coach Cameron Tucker on Modern Family, teamed up with Kansas City Hospice, the place where Vince had spent his final days, launching a fund in his name. Stonestreet said, "We wanted to make sure that his spirit of generosity was somehow kept alive. He liked to do things and not get the attention for it. Ultimately, I think this is the best version of that because he's not here, and we're doing it in spite of him and for him."
I never knew how important hospice would be in my life until my dad got sick.
Sarah Hyland, who played the Dunphy clan's eldest daughter Haley on Modern Family, was diagnosed with kidney dysplasia when she was young. Her father donated a kidney to save her, making it even more devastating when she experienced a failed transplant. In 2018, she told Self, "I had gone through my whole life always being a burden. When a family member gives you a second chance at life and it fails, it almost feels like it's your fault. It's not, but it does." Luckily, her second kidney transplant, this time provided courtesy of younger sibling Ian in 2017, has proven to be longer lasting, although Hyland still has to deal with several side effects. In fact, she was often left so tired that she doesn't remember filming certain Modern Family episodes. Sadly, when Hyland was struggling with health issues, she was also dealing with ongoing domestic abuse from her then partner, Matt Prokop. According to a filing made public by People, Prokop had repeatedly subjected her to abuse of both the physical and verbal kind during their relationship. Not only had he once tried to choke her, but he also threatened to set her house on fire and kill her beloved pet dog. In 2014, she received a permanent restraining order against him. A decade later, Hyland became the first ever recipient of Variety's Courage Award, largely for her efforts in raising awareness of domestic abuse. While accepting the honor, Hyland told the audience how she was affected by the trauma long after she split from Prokop, saying, "It stays in that abused place of your soul, where you think it's your fault the whole time, and you could have done better. You could have gotten out sooner. You could have told people. I don't know if that part of any woman will ever be fully healed from that. It's something that kind of scars her soul a little bit. It's more so putting love towards that scar instead of hating it and ignoring it."
To be seen and recognized is so special, and it's so wonderful, and it is really emotional.
In 2017, Rico Rodriguez took to Instagram to reveal the devastating news that his beloved father Roy had passed away at the age of just 52. The actor, best known as Gloria's old beyond his years son Manny Delgado in Modern Family, was only 18 at the time and told his followers that the past week had been the most difficult of his life. He said, "My dad was the most kind-hearted, loving, hardworking, determined, and funny man I have ever known. He was like a superhero. He had the ability to get the best out of you day in and day out. I'm gonna miss your hugs. I'm gonna miss your advice. I'm gonna miss your smile. And I'm gonna miss your laugh." Roy was both the president and co-founder of the Texas-based La Campana Car Club and also owned an eponymous tire shop in the same state. Rico's sister, Rainey, also gave their father a tribute on Instagram, writing, "His work ethic and sense of humor were two of his greatest characteristics, both of which he shared with me. He has taught me so many life lessons and inspired me constantly to follow my dreams." Ariel Winter might have had the perfect, if slightly neurotic, on-screen mother in Modern Family, but her real-life situation was different. In 2012, the actor's sister, Chanel Workman, applied for guardianship following claims that their mom, Crystal, had been abusive, both mentally and physically. 2 years later, this was granted, and in 2015, Winter officially emancipated herself from her mother. In a 2017 chat with The Hollywood Reporter, Winter, who played the Dunphy family's brainiac middle child Alex, opened up about the situation. She alleged that she was pushed into show business against her will by her mother, was continually restricted when it came to both food and education, and prevented from making female friends who were considered competition.
It was kind of already decided what I was expected to be, and so I was kind of pushed into the industry.
In one of the most disturbing revelations, Winter claimed that her mom was also more than happy to sexualize her own child from a young age, noting how she was often dressed in miniskirts, sailor suits, low-cut things, and short dresses. She said, "If there was going to be a nude scene when I was that age, my mother would have 1000% said yes." For many Modern Family viewers, Haley Dunphy's well-meaning but bird-brained sometimes boyfriend Dylan Marshall was the true heartthrob of the sitcom, but the actor who played him certainly never saw himself that way. In a candid letter penned for the Huffington Post in 2015, Reid Ewing revealed that he suffered from body dysmorphia. Ewing explained how when he first moved to Los Angeles to pursue his showbiz career, he would spend most of his spare time taking selfies and meticulously analyzing all his self-perceived flaws. The situation became so severe that Ewing would dream of deliberately getting into a serious vehicle collision just to receive facial reconstruction surgery. Ewing did eventually go under the knife, but his first cosmetic procedure ended up sparking another damaging addiction. He subsequently underwent a whole host of further treatments before finally realizing that his problems were mental and not physical. He said, "It's a horrible hobby, and it will eat away at you until you have lost all self-esteem and joy. I wish I could go back and undo all the surgeries. Now I can see that I was fine to begin with and didn't need the surgeries after all." Shelley Long, who played Jay's ex-wife, the oft-absent family matriarch Dee Dee on Modern Family, has had the honor of appearing in 2 all-time classic sitcoms. Sadly, the actor appeared to struggle with life after both her starring role in Cheers and her marriage came to an end. In 2004, the New York Post reported that she had tried to take her own life. Long was taken to Los Angeles' UCLA Medical Center after a reported painkiller overdose. According to various sources, she previously spent the months beforehand in a state of depression, rarely getting out of bed or eating proper meals. An anonymous friend allegedly said, "It's like seeing someone falling off a cliff." At the time, the actor was dealing with the implosion of her over 20-year marriage to securities broker Bruce Tyson. But her agent, Martin Mickelson, insisted that the media had blown everything out of proportion and that it wasn't a suicide attempt at all. He told the Associated Press, "Shelley took an extra pain pill for her back, which she hurt when she fell on the set of Cheers many years ago. She had a reaction to it.